Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming back to our event today. We're very excited to have you, and I'm very excited to introduce you to our speaker today, Mr. Korin Sutton. I've known Korin now for several years. Um, I'm 71 years old. I've been working out since I was probably 15 or 16, and I've always been interested in being in good shape and building my body and my endurance and living longer, all that. I'm into all that. I have been my whole life. And so I've worked with a lot of different fitness coaches in my life, but there's nobody equal to Mr. Korin Sutton. And that's why I asked him to be a speaker in this event. So I'm going to start by just letting Korin tell us how he actually got into this field and what his specialties are and just what he does. So Korin, go ahead, take it away. Let us know how you got into this whole field.
Hey, Clyde, and thank you for inviting me. But how it all started really was, first of all, I was always into physical fitness. Like since I was like 7 years old, I always
Mhm.
like had something to do with some type of physical activity, from like baseball to
Right,
tennis, racquetball, things like that. I mean, I was always involved in some type of sport
right,
growing.
right.
And then like right after high school, I ended up joining the military. So I did 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, fully active service as well, deployed to Operation Iraqi Freedom 3 and 4. And
Mhm.
then after that, I got out, and then I decided to join the Navy Reserves, which is like part-time
Right.
military. And then I did that for another 4 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it kind of started from there, because when I was in the reserves, then I mean, obviously, I had a civilian job as well. You know, I was doing security at the time, and when I did security for about like 2 years, like I was like a mall cop, like working at Sawgrass Mall. And what inspired me while I was working there was I saw a lot of entrepreneurs and
Mhm.
business owners there when I was working in the mall, because there's not that much action going on. I mean, there's
Right,
things that happen, but there's a
right,
lot of downtime. You're
right.
just kind of walking around, patrolling. So obviously, like, I'm talking to some of the tenants and things like that, that owns like or rent out those spaces in the mall.
Right.
And I would talk to them. And what ended up happening is that I decided to invest into my own booth,
Mhm.
and I was like, like, I'm spending a lot of time, because during that time, I think it was like 2000, what was it, like 2009 or something, during the recession.
Right,
And things was like, everything was going down, a lot
right.
of things weren't doing well. So um I decided to open up a toy business, and I started doing that. And while I was doing the toy business, um and then that recession happened, because the first year it went great, but
Right.
then the second year it crashed because of the recession. Like, obviously people are pulling back, no one wants to buy toys and things like that.
Right.
Like, the stuff that I was selling isn't vital, it's not important,
Right. It's not an essential item.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
So I decided to go to school. So I dumped that business, decided to go to school, because a lot of my friends in the military was pushing me to go to school. They were like, dude, you have like school benefits.
Yeah, the GI Bill. You got the
Yeah, they're
GI
like,
Bill. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they're like, why won't you take advantage of it? And da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should, because nothing else was working out for me. Like, the business didn't work out for me.
Right.
Security job, I was making pennies and peanuts,
Right. Right.
and being in the Navy Reserves part time, you don't make that much money doing that,
Right.
because part time. So there was just a lot of things that wasn't playing out for me. Like, even during that time, I was trying to work for other government agencies and state jobs,
Right.
like becoming a police officer, secret agent. Like, I
Right.
tried it all. Like, I,
Right.
I
Right.
I got to a point where I was just filling out applications, like,
Right.
secret agent, why not?
Yeah.
The application for FBI is like that freaking big. Like, they
Right.
want your
Right.
whole life, fingerprints, all this stuff. I didn't care. Like, I just started sending applications everywhere, because I wanted to do something, some type of
Right.
uniform job. I mean, that's the only thing I knew. I
Right.
knew working for the government or for the state, it's a secure job, something
Right.
secure, and
Right.
as long as you do what you're told. But
Right.
nothing was working out. No one's hiring, or I didn't meet their
Right.
qualification. whatever the case can be. So that's when I decided to go to school, because my friends were like, look, man, like nothing's working out, and maybe there's a reason why. And what sold me about going to school was, my friend said, like, going to school is like a reset button in life.
Right.
You know, he's like, when you go to school, you can go there not knowing what you want to do, which
Right.
I didn't know what I wanted to study for. But he's like, but that's the place where you find out and reinvent yourself.
Right.
So he said that, I was like, all right, like, you know what, let me try it out. So I shut down a lot of I shut down the business,
Right.
started school full time. And then this is where it kind of comes down to like the personal training, because
Right.
when I was going to school, obviously I had no work. I mean, I had enough money to survive for a year, which that's what I did.
Right.
But then then after that year, when all my finances started to exhaust,
Right.
that's when I was like, all right, now I need to look for a part-time job, because like I
Right.
need to pay my rent and stuff.
Right.
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 So that's when I got into personal fitness training, because at that moment while I was looking for a job, one of my friends came up to me, and she's like, hey, like, I heard that you're looking for like a part-time job that can
Right.
fit your schedule.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, because it's when you go in school, it's just very hard to find something that is
Right.
flexible, especially
Right.
if you're a full-time student.
So when you went into the fitness, that's when it really kind of gelled for you that this is where you need to be in the fitness industry.
Well, it kind of started
Yeah.
when I worked in when I went to this gym. It's called NRG Fitness.
Right.
He doesn't have a physical location now. Now he does like
Right.
business training. Like he trains. He works with different, like, large companies, like big business.
Right.
But before, back then, he had like a small little private boutique gym,
Right.
located in Fort Lauderdale. I started going there. He mentored me for like a year and a half, and it was all part-time at the time. But when I went to which is kind of going towards the vegan thing,
Right.
when I saw Gary Roski, and he convinced me to go like more on a plant-based diet, that's when I decided to take fitness full-time. Because when I heard about all the things that happens to animals and how important nutrition plays, especially plant-based nutrition, how powerful it is, that's when, like, I guess you could say the nutrition component kind of sparked the physical fitness component.
Right.
And I was like, I want to dig deeper into this, because
Right.
when I was working for the gym, I'm just training people, like results and stuff like that. It wasn't my prerogative, because I was working for the gym, like,
Right.
and that type of gym wasn't that, not trying to knock it or nothing, but that wasn't the prerogative,
So it's interesting because you kind of came at this, you realized how important the nutrition aspect and what
Yeah.
diet and your food was to fitness. So to you, it's like inseparable, right? I mean, the working out and the physical building of the body and the nutrition are intimately connected. It's like one to you.
Yeah.
I know that's always been, something that I've noticed about you. It's just absolutely crucial, different, same. I'm sure other things too, like sleep and rest and all of that too enter into it too, right? But
Absolutely.
nutrition is critical.
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, it's the nutrition plays about 80% when it comes to achieving your health results.
Okay.
And I've seen this, like, even when I started working for other gyms, because when I saw that I wanted to implement my own ideas, I mean, I started working there. I was working there for a year and a half,
Right.
and started implementing my own ideas. Like, maybe we should do things with with nutrition, and maybe
Right.
we should do different types of workouts.
So I mean, most people come to me when I tell them I'm a vegan, they say, well, how do you get your protein? So how do you answer that question?
Um, Protein is in a lot of things. When it comes to a plant-based diet, it's in all types of foods. So one way to find out is, first of all, you could always use an application called MyFitnessPal. It's a free application you could download on any type of
My
smartphone.
Fitness Pal.
Mhm.
Okay.
And with that application, you could type in any type of foods. You can even scan certain foods when it's packaged products. And what it's going to do is going to tell you all the nutritional facts that
Right.
come out of the food. So you're going to learn about the nutritional science of the foods, like how much vitamins and minerals you're getting out of
Right.
it, how
Right.
many calories that food is actually is. Also, the macronutrients like the protein, carbs, and fats. So you're going to learn like how much nutrients you're actually going to get from those foods,
Right.
and that's one way to find out. But when it comes to a plant-based diet, one of the main staples, I would say, especially if you want to think about more whole foods, like things
Right.
that's not extra, like ultimately processed, would be like tofu, seitan, and tempeh. Like those are like the three big staples when it comes to finding like big protein. Uh,
Is satay made from soy?
Seitan is made from wheat gluten,
Wheat
and then
gluten.
tofu is made from soy.
Yeah, tofu soy.
Then tempeh is made from fermented lentils and beans.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you ever, what I do is I make dosas. That's an Indian pancake with the lentils. It's like a dal, which is like a lentil mixed
Yeah,
with whole grain rice, and that creates a complete protein, right? And that's what I use for bread because I don't want to do any wheat products either. So that's one of my sources of protein. But I know. Have you ever read Rich Roll's book, Finding Ultra? Um,
I heard about it.
yeah, and he has about 20 pages in there about, alkaline versus acidic and
Mhm.
protein. That's, I mean, and he's one of the best ultra athletes in the world. And almost all those guys now, the top ultra athletes in the world, like you, they know that it's all about their diet and they're all plant-based.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And the thing about the complete protein is that myth been debunked. So
right.
as long as you're eating a variety of different types of plant-based foods,
Okay,
the body's very sophisticated when it comes to retaining amino acids.
right.
So it's been debunked a long time ago. So because I know, like, I heard you say the term complete, and there's some people out there that might be listening, like, oh yeah, like, but vegan is incomplete, complete protein. But as long as you're eating a variety of different types of foods,
That's
all
not a problem then.
foods, it's not a
Okay.
problem. All plant-based foods are considered
Okay.
as a complete protein.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. So when you work with somebody like you worked with me back a few years ago to help me get in shape for that ride across Iowa that I did with my grandkids, which
Yeah.
really made a difference because it's 470 miles in 7 days
Mhm.
in heat. I'm in my 70s and I'm competing. Well, I'm trying to keep up with my kids and my grandkids. And they're in phenomenal shape and they're young and they don't get tired, so but you're working out and your diet and everything. It helped me get through that. And I do it every year now with them too. And I plan on doing it till I'm well over 100.
That's
So
awesome.
so that's my goal is to be able to do that with my great grandkids,
Hmm.
when I'm in my hundreds,
Yeah,
so
and tell you the truth, I think it's very possible. I mean,
oh
man, I
yeah.
can't believe I forgot this lady's name, but it's like this.
Sister
She,
Madonna Booter.
I believe that
Sister
she might,
Madonna Booter. She's an Ironman triathlete.
yeah,
Yeah.
black lady, right? Who ran around the world and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, she's another one. She's another one. Sister Booter is a white lady. She's a Catholic nun,
Okay.
but she's 90 now, and she was competing in Ironman triathlons when she was in her late 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of her
Yeah,
because the one I was thinking is a black lady, and she ran everywhere, and
yeah. I know who
you,
you're talking about.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
amazing too, and I can't remember her name. But then the other guy
Mhm.
is Robert Marchand from Paris. He is 110. And he still competes in a bike race he holds for 100 years and more in
Yeah.
Paris. And of course, he wins this trophy every year because there's nobody else in the world who can compete with him.
Yeah.
But he is still, and here's the interesting thing that is really germane to our audience. He's 110. He trains, he eats a really good diet, he's into the training and everything. And his doctors who are studying him say that every year he's getting in better shape and he's
Wow.
110. His conditioning is improving at 110.
Yeah.
So Robert Marchand, look him up.
Yeah, I
Very
will.
inspiring, inspiring. So let's get into some nuts and bolts about your training. How many hours a day, or how many hours a week do your typical students spend to get in shape as quickly as possible?
Somewhere around an hour and a half, hour to an hour and a half, like on average, for training.
A
Maybe,
week
but
or day?
a day per day. Yeah,
Okay. How many
yeah,
days a week?
about 5 6 days, and this
Okay.
is a combination of resistance and maybe some active rest days as well. You know,
Okay.
it all depends on each individual because all the
Okay.
plans are customized.
Okay.
So
Now, is that going to include aerobics, like running or swimming or
yeah,
biking?
yeah, including aerobics and cardio. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
like an hour and a half on average. But like especially in the beginning, but then depending on the person's goal and their activity level
Mhm.
and what they're trying to do, that can defer. Because I always tell all my students like when you focus too much on the time of training, it's like and because everyone's trying to oh, what's the shortest amount of time I can spend to get the biggest results. Always tell my students like, look, I'm an athlete. So as a coming from someone who's a coach but also an athlete, I don't pay attention to time. It's just like only time I pay attention to time is if I don't have time, like I have to get to work or something like that.
Right.
That's one thing. But if I have no calls
Right.
early in the morning and I can block those days out because I'm like, look, what's the point going in work if I have no calls today?
Right.
I'll block those times out and I'll keep going. I'll be like, hey, it looks like it's going to be one of those days where I can really get it in.
Right. Right.
And I'll go ham. So I tell people like the more you put in, the more you put out. If you're focused on just time and things like that, like you're just going to get in what you actually put in.
Well, it sounds to me like what you're saying then, because for a lot of people, if they don't see results fairly quickly, they'll get discouraged. So what it sounds like you're saying is when they first start training, they're gonna have to put in probably more time than they will once they get to a certain level. They can maybe be able to back off and maintain. Right? Is that true?
Yeah, because it's like I said, like when we create the programs, we create them especially in the beginning, depending on where someone is starting at. Like if someone's just very sedentary, they haven't moved in a long time, 300 pounds. I mean, I'm not going to expect them to do a whole hour and a half of training.
Right.
I mean, it could probably just be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes max, just
Right.
to try to get them to move.
Right.
But if it's someone that's like, they're like maybe 180 pounds and
Mm.
they have like 5% body fat and they're telling me like, oh, I want to step on stage to compete. That's when that rule is going to change. I want to be like, bro, like,
So it's totally different depending on the individual,
yeah,
who they are, what kind of shape they're in when they start, and what their
exactly.
goals are. And
Hmm.
so that's what you do. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's very detailed.
Yeah.
And and you pushed me. You pushed me.
Hmm.
I don't I when I remember one day you sent me my next stage of what I was supposed to do. I went, holy crap. That's gonna be a lot of working out, man. That's gonna be good. But I did it, and it was good. Now, here's another thing for me. I during that time, a lot of that time, I had a buddy that was doing it with me, and
Hmm.
that really helps. Do you recommend, having a buddy that's doing it with
Oh,
you?
definitely. Like, I mean, there's studies that's proven that when
I
you train
know.
with others,
Yeah.
it boosts up everything. Like even with me, like I had a friend who I'm actually training him and then he's training me because I'm training him for the fitness part and then he's training me for stocks, right? And so we're pretty much, you could say, we're exchanging services.
Right.
But right now he's in Puerto Rico. His name's Tay Sweat, and when he comes down to Miami, we train together.
Mhm.
And when he went back to Puerto Rico just recently, I just told him, I was like, bro, man, like I wish you could stay in Miami a little bit longer because
Yeah.
like I even myself, I push harder. And I told him like you don't
Right.
just push me like from a ethical
Right.
standpoint because he's very successful guy, very, very successful
Right.
financially and stuff like that. But so he pushes me in that end because someone I look up to. But then also when it comes to the gym, and he used to be a trainer himself, which is funny because he used to be an online trainer himself. And I told him like, just you being here, I push harder because it's just like, you have your bro there, you don't want to look weak, and you want to go in hard,
It
like,
makes a huge difference. It makes
yeah.
a huge difference. Yeah, that's what I found too. I lost my buddy with the with the COVID thing. He won't come into LA Fitness and work out because he's afraid of the COVID. But I was doing so great with him, because we make each other show up. You got to show, if you've got buddies going to be there, you got to be there. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, there's so many levels to it, but it really does help. And I think I'm glad you said that. I think people need to hear that
yeah.
it's possible. I mean, if they're working with you, that's another thing. If they're working with you and a personal people, and you do that, right? I mean, you have people come into the gym with you sometimes and work out with you in addition to doing your Zoom meetings.
Oh, no, actually, I don't. I stopped training people.
Okay.
One-on-one. So everything I do is just strictly online. So everything's online, and I've been doing this for the past 3 years.
Okay.
So even when the pandemic happened, I was already past that learning curve. It was just like I was already in position,
Okay.
ready to handle the changes of the world. Because everything started going online, and I already had the place established while people were playing catch up. And I'm looking at, because I get majority of all my students from Instagram, like social media. So while I was looking at some of my competitors and they were trying to play catch up, I didn't have to do anything. Only thing I had to do is just change up some of the workouts, make some new workouts for more catered for the home, and that was easy.
Okay, so that's a different thing than what you used to back when we did. So now, when you're working with somebody now, how many times a day do you get on a Zoom meeting with them? Or a week?
Well, how it works is that I have other coaches. So my coaches would check up with everyone every once a week. I personally check up with my students once a month for a monthly review, because what I do in my business is I'm the head coach. So I'm more in charge of the education department. So each week I'll do like a class. I do classes like live Zoom classes every week on right after this call. I have one to teach. It's at every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I teach different classes when it comes to like health, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle choices, and animal ethics. Because I want fitness to be more part of a lifestyle. So this is why I do this, and I got other coaches to handle like the actual fitness and coaching part.
Okay, I see. Okay, so this is great. Now I understand what you're doing. You've really transitioned since we were.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But it was kind of a genius thing, because you anticipated what was going to be happening with COVID. So you were already there. You were already doing your Zoom meetings and everything. You'd already made that transition. So that's fantastic. That's very, very good.
And there was other coaches, obviously when you're in the fitness field, other coaches and stuff like that.
Right.
And they didn't have work, they're like, oh, I have no work. So it was even easy to find coaches that I could trust, that could pass that work to them, so they can execute and continue to do what they love.
Tell us, we're getting close to our time, so I just want to ask you a couple things. One, how do you still have time to compete? I know you had won a lot of national championships in body sculpting and body building.
28 different shows, actually.
You've won 28 different shows.
Yeah, I just counted yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to tell you all, you're talking to somebody that is at the very, very, very top of the mountain of fitness trainers in the United States. I just want you to understand that Korin is a very special human being and is a very special trainer. So, what he does is amazing. I want to ask you another question. Did you see Game Changers on Netflix?
Yeah.
What did you think? Overall, on a scale of 1 to 100, what did you think of Game Changers?
Nah, it was really good. It was really good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. I like
it. It was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger talking about how he used to eat, and how he always thought that meat was gonna, he had to eat meat and be a meat eater, and they'd make fun of the vegans and stuff. Yeah. But now he's realized that how powerful it is. So And then they had the Tennessee Titans on there, all those Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
You know, they are amazing. And you know, so it's really something. And I like the last 10 minutes of it where they talk about the environmental impact on the world, you know, of people making that choice not to, you know,
Yeah,
be,
and I saw a big increase of people transitioning more into a plant-based diet. Like every time there's like a new documentary like that, and it
yeah,
comes out and it goes viral, um, I benefit out of it too because more people wants to transition. You know,
yeah,
so and when people go online and they're
yeah,
like vegan bodybuilder, vegan trainer,
right, right,
I'll be pulled up as one of the top people,
right.
and because when game changers happen, mad men, a lot of men, you know,
I
are
know. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I'm in the middle where, you know, I've watched it 4 or 5 times now because I get people to come in and try to watch it with me, you know. So I'm sitting there watching it with my son and my daughter-in-law.
yeah,
And my daughter-in-law she calls herself vegan-ish. She's like 99% vegan. But my son is not, he was a professional tennis player, could have been a professional basketball player, amazing athlete, but
mhm.
he's not into the vegan thing. And about halfway through Game Changers, he goes, "Ah, oh, darn, oh, God." And I said, "What's wrong?" He says, "Yeah, I'm going to have to become a vegan."
Yeah,
But you know, it was pretty interesting. It's a powerful show. So yeah, you're right. Those documentaries help. But well, it's great. Tell people how they get a hold of you and what your process, a little bit more about your process and how they get a hold of you.
yeah. I mean, if you're interested in learning more about my programs, because the programs that I have is called it's a 16-week transformation program. So what it consists of is customized meal plans, customized workout plans, accountability support, and also you have access to the private Facebook group and also the live classes that we do every week. So if you want to learn more about that, so you want to either transition into a plant-based lifestyle, or maybe you're already vegan and you're not seeing the residual results that you want, you know, because just because you go vegan doesn't mean that you're going to be automatically healthy, you know,
Right,
especially if you're consuming a bunch of processed junk foods.
right,
It's not going to equate to
right.
healthiness. But if people wants to learn more about that, you can always connect with me on my Instagram, which is at Korin Sutton, or go to my website,
At
which is,
at at Korin Sutton.
yep. And then
Right.
you could also hit me up on my website, which is bodyhdfitness.com, or email me at korinsutton@bodyhdfitness.com.
Okay. So Korin Sutton for everyone is KORINSUTTON.
Yep.
And the website again is
Bodyhdfitness.com.
so bodyhdfitness.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So great. And highly recommend him. I can say that with all confidence and experience that working with Korin will change your life. And, you know, you'll be very, very, very happy that you started this program and you'll see results. So I recommend everyone to check out his website and go from there. Anything else? Any final words of inspiration to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, if you never tried a plant-based diet and you're someone that's suffering with any type of health issues or weight issues, I always recommend like finding a professional in the beginning. Like because the thing is that when you go on a plant-based diet, it's not just eliminating meat and just slamming a bunch of vegetables in your mouth. Like you have to understand and re-educate yourself when it comes to plant-based nutrition. So the same knowledge that we have when it comes to living on an animal-based diet, well, isn't the same when it comes to a plant-based diet. So this is why I'll highly recommend, finding a professional. Even it doesn't even have to be me, but I highly recommend finding a professional to guide you, because it's going to make your process and the transition a lot easier, so you don't fail.
There are some excellent cookbooks out now too that I have found to be very helpful, you know, for raw food and vegans. And Rich Roll and his wife did a great one. I can't think of the name of it right now, but You can look it up. Rich Roll and his wife, they give you really great recipes. And once you start learning how to cook and create foods that are vegan and raw, and not usually a lot of cooking involved. You're preparing fresh, eating fresh and raw.
Yeah.
It's amazing change, and you'll feel the difference and you'll taste the difference. So.
Yeah. I even have a cookbook myself.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
I did not know that. What's the name of the cookbook?
It's called Macro Mastery.
Okay.
And it's a pretty cool cookbook, because what we did was all the meals that's in my meal plans. When I create all these meal plans, they're all well thought out meals.
Oh, great.
And we made over 70 plus meals. That's all macro friendly, because when you're in my course, like, I teach you how to count macros, keep track of nutrition, things like that. So that's all in that book as well. It's an interactive PDF book. So if you don't, for whatever reason, like you don't know how to read instructions or whatever the case can be,
right?
You click on the link, and then it shows you the video of me making the meal. So very interactive. So it's like you can either read the directions and look at the pictures, or watch the video and cook the meals with me.
Good. Well, I'm glad I brought this up, because I had no idea you were in that, doing that, and you had your own cookbook and your own PDF, and the technical, the internet, and it's part of the Zoom meeting. You can do everything on the internet and find out all this, see your diet, see your recipes, everything, see how you're cooking it, everything.
Yep.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I had no idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to be buying that cookbook, and I'm going to be it. We got to get back in touch. I got to get my program going. I'm going to do RAGBRAI again this year with my grandson. So, I've definitely got to start training right now.
No doubt.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Korin. This has been fantastic. I really enjoyed having you on today, and I think you gave people a lot of inspiration and a lot of knowledge, and hopefully it'll change some lives.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Take care.